What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Game Plan Pod. I'm Peter.
I'm Vincent.
And I'm Henry.
Let's get into today's episode.
Starting us off, the NFL draft just happened. The Giants had a great draft, I have to say. So did everyone else. But what are you guys' thoughts on this?
I don't know about that one.
Not everyone, but some
I
others.
think there are a lot of teams that were
failed.
absolutely awful. I think that, first of all, I mean, I don't know why everyone's saying Dallas had such a good draft. Besides, I mean, I really like their second round pick, the edge from BC, but guard at 12 just didn't make sense to me. I think there was too many positions of need that were available for Dallas that they passed up on. Particularly, I mean, they don't really need a tight end, but when a guy like Tyler Warren is available, I think it's very hard to pass up on him.
Yeah.
But forget about Dallas. I don't care about Dallas. I'm happy they messed it up. I think that, going back to the winners, I mean, I think our Giants were the winners of this draft.
I really do. Like, I'm not trying to be biased. I give them an A minus, A plus. Honestly, I'm not.
an A plus.
I give it hold on. You get Abdul Carter, possibly the best defensive player in the draft, probably. Then you trade up and get Jackson Dart. Everyone's saying, "Oh, you should have took Shedeur Sanders," but look, they like Jackson Dart better. They trade up and got their guy. Then in the third round, you got Darius. What's his last name?
Darius Alexander.
Darius Alexander. I blanked on that. The D tackle, and he was a projected second round pick, and we got him in the start of the third round. And then you get Cam Scatterbu. I mean, like that. Those first four picks are amazing.
And then Marcus from Purdue as well.
Marcus from Bo.
And he was projected third round as well.
I like Scatterbu pick because I don't know how he wasn't drafted higher because he's literally good at everything. Like he catches the ball.
Yeah.
He had the most yards after contact, and he had the second most yards in running backs. And I think that was a steal in the fourth round?
I would have said size for the reason why he didn't get drafted early, but then you look at Ashton Genty, who
exactly.
I'm not even trying to be funny. Like there's the the meme where like everyone's walking past and they literally couldn't even see him.
Right.
That's literally what it was like. And Scatterbu is a little taller, but I honestly I think. I'm going to try to sound as unbiased saying this, but it's going to be a little, people are going to think it's pretty biased when you look behind us.
Yeah.
But I think the Giants have the best draft class, and it's not even close in my opinion. You said the best defensive player. We got the best player.
Yeah.
It's not close. Abdul Carter is the best player in this draft, and I'm saying regardless of what team these guys went to. And Dart, obviously at 25. I think he's currently the third best quarterback in the draft class. But I think out of all of the quarterbacks, he has the most potential, and that's what I told you the other day. And then obviously Alexander wasn't the best defensive tackle pick, but he's one of the best in the draft, definitely top 5, absolute stud. And then my favorite pick was Scatterbu. I think Scatterbu is
absolute steal. I think one of the biggest steals of the draft. Like, you get to pair him along with rookie Tyrone Tracy from last year. I think that running back room is looking much better, and it obviously leaves in the question, like, you don't have to see Eric Gray on the field anymore. Get him off the team.
Singletary's going to get traded or something.
Tracy and Scatterbu, I think, is going to be a great RB room for the Giants, and that really bolsters their offense, which they struggled, obviously, a bunch last year.
Yeah, I think we completely nailed the draft. Obviously Henry said we got the best player in the draft. We got Dart, who may not be the best quarterback right now, but he's 21 years old. He's the youngest quarterback in the league. He has probably the most potential, in my opinion, out of this entire class, especially with the weapons the Giants have right now. I mean, when you step into a team that already has...
That's the only thing that's a little bit...
Well, he's got Malik Neighbors. I mean, Cam Ward has literally no one.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Dart's going to have Neighbors. He's going to have mentoring with Russell Wilson. He's going to have the coach that coached Josh Allen to becoming what he is today.
And the coach that coached Mahomes as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's going to have all of those weapons, and he's going to have time to actually develop and not start day one. So I think Dart was a great pick. I think Carter was A+. And then Darius Alexander, yes, he's 25, but he's going to be a day one starter next to Dexter Lawrence. He's 25.
Yeah, he is 25. Maybe that's why that could have been a reason why he fell a little bit.
Yeah, that's why.
But Still, he's a great D tackle. I like his highlights. I think that's a solid pick by Joe Shane. Definitely a great pair alongside Dexter Lawrence. And I mean, like, our D line's looking great. You got Dexter, you got Darius, you got Abdul Carter now, Kayvon, and people thought he was gonna get traded. You got Brian Burns, and then in the linebackers, Bobby Okereke, Micah McFadden, Colston, John C. Colston. But the secondary is looking much better too from last year. Javon Holland, Paulson Adebo. And it really the fact
Newbin and Phillips too.
Newman and Phillips.
And Banks.
And it really is the factor if Deontay Banks can go back to what he was his rookie year. It really is what that is.
Let me
He has
say
to be
this,
better.
and it's really
He has to be
hard.
better.
It's really hard for me to not sound biased because this is genuinely what I would believe. Again, if I wasn't a Giants fan, but we undoubtedly have the best defensive line in football, and there's literally no arguing behind it. We have Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau. You also have Chauncey Golston as well.
On the bench, probably.
And then you have Dexter Lawrence,
The best
Darius
exactly.
Alexander, and Elijah Chapman. Like, that is the best defensive line in football, and it's not remotely close. I think our defense is also going to be top 5 without a doubt.
Should be.
I think what it comes down to,
As if our offense really works.
it's not even the offense, it's more specifically the offensive line. If our offensive line is good, we can undoubtedly win 9 to 10 games. Because think about it, our defense, we should be holding teams to under 17 points. That's what it should be.
If
at least.
everything goes
If
right.
everything goes
If everything goes right.
I mean, we
fully
have the
healthy.
talent. We are young. We have depth. We haven't had depth in years.
The prime example last year. No depth
have-
whatsoever.
we have-
Every injury you have.
Especially
to practice
corner
with.
and O-line. And now
Yeah.
we actually have corner depth.
We have defensive line depth. We have linebacker depth. On the bench, there's Chris Board we signed from the Patriots. Darius Musso we drafted last year. And in the cornerback room, you got Corey Black we just drafted in the 7th round. You have Belton. You have, this is a little bit of a stretch, but you have Trey Hawkins. You also have Cornell Flott, who was pretty solid last year
Trey
too.
Hawkins did in the 3 games that he started towards the end of last year. He did show flashes of being good, and honestly, I want to see because he obviously got hurt. I want to see what he has. But look, we have a lot of depth now, and I really do like the depth that Joe Shane built around this team. And obviously, when we all in question what his plan was, I'm honestly saying I'm really liking his plan right now. I really am.
Yeah, and not the flashiest pick, but one of my favorites in the draft for the Giants and Joe Shane was definitely Marcus Mbow. I think we really needed depth at O-line because last year one guy went down and Tyree Phillips was starting at right tackle. That's a problem.
Because now you have
Because
Marson and Marcus.
Marcus Mbow can literally, he played tackle in college. He was dominant, but he can play every position. He's literally a flex interior outside offensive lineman. Scott said he could play every position, and if one guy goes down, sub him in. He might end the season starting. Who knows? Because you're gonna have Thomas, Runyon, Schmitz, and then Illuminor, and then right guard. I think it's up in the air. You have Van Rotten.
I think it's going to be Van Rotten.
It will be Van Rotten to start
Most
the
likely.
season, but you also have Evan Neal. But
If Evan Neal wants to move the right guard, he could try it. They did. Look, this is his prove-it year. They declined his 5th-year option. This is his last year to prove to the Giants if he's worth bringing back. If he does another bad year, he's gone.
I think it's done for him. Unless Van Rotten gets hurt, he's not going to have a lot of opportunities. And they're trying to win games there. They're not trying to develop
a
4th-year offensive lineman. They're not trying to do that.
They're
trying to win games.
They're in the 4th year of this regime. 4th year already?
4th.
They're in the 4th year of this regime. By now, Gettleman was out. So they're not messing around. They need to win games, and it's going to be very hard with their schedule. And again, I really think it comes down to the way the offensive line plays. I have full trust in the defense. I think the defense is terrific. I think if the offensive line plays fantastic, that's really going to open up the game for the offense. I think Scatterboo is going to be a dog. He's going to be a bell cow. He's going to be the running back replacement for Saquon. And then, of course, you have Malik Neighbors. I don't know how you can't call this guy top 5 the way he played last year with
4 different quarterbacks
and Tim Boyle. And then you have a guy like Theo Johnson who is a stud.
He started picking up before he got hurt too. So that's who I'm excited to watch too, Theo Johnson coming into this year.
And Fedone.
It's not making the team.
Well, what's surprising about Fedone is that he was ranked higher than Brock Bowers coming into college. But honestly,
So is DJ Ugalele.
Right, he went to the Look, you don't know, but Joe Saint probably got that for blocking tight end. But again, It really is, like you said, the offensive line. I think if the offense works well, if Russell Wilson can fit in with that, like can work well with the whole offense. But other than that, I'm actually like pretty excited from what I was. I'm really excited from where I started in the offseason to now. I'm more excited. Obviously, at the start of the offseason, we weren't too excited, but now it seems like the plan's working.
The quarterback position, like again, another position that we literally had zero depth in. Now, if God forbid Russ goes down, we have Jameis. God forbid Jameis goes down, we have Dart. We have options. And then obviously the receiver room is the lackluster. That's what this team lacks.
Because really, it's Malik Neighbors. Like, yes, Darius Slayton has his games.
It's really Malik, Slayton, Wandale in the slot, and then you have who?
Malik
Hyatt?
is gonna go nuts.
Hyatt? Is that who? I mean, Malik.
Look,
the problem is that
Russell Wilson said that he saw something at Hyatt, so you don't know what could happen. We don't know, but honestly,
Joe Shane is like barely.
You don't know, but I don't trust Hyatt.
Acknowledge his name. But we'll see what happens.
I don't trust Hyatt this year that much either. But they have to see. They decided to bring back Slayton instead of getting a new receiver. So we'll see what the plan is.
One team that I was confused with for their first round pick was the Bears. Why would you pick Colston Loveland? I mean, 10th overall, you pick a tight end when you already have Cole Kmet. He's not even the best tight end available. I think Tyler Warren is miles better.
I think Loveland's a better receiver, but otherwise Warren is better at everything else. But you don't even need the guy anyway. You have Kmet.
You have Kmet. What a fantastic year.
I would have drafted.
They could have had what's his name?
Kelvin.
They could have had either Omari and Hampton, who were running back. I mean, a little bit of reach.
It's a little bit of a reach at 10, but why don't you trade back though?
Offensive line. You could have got linebacker.
Kelvin Banks. Oh no,
he
went before.
Could have got Tyler Booker that went to 12 to Dallas.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really wanted to mention, my steal of the draft. I just got to give a round of applause to Arizona. Will Johnson in the second round is actually unheard of. I understand he has
a knee injury.
He's still a
good corner.
He was the best corner in this draft, in my opinion.
And you let him fall.
I think he's way better than Hunter. Way better than Hunter.
What pick was he? He was picked.
He was 43.
You let him fall that far. I don't get that. Yes, I understand that his knee injury, but really, when you have the best player available there, I think you have to take him. For example,
I agree.
The Bills, I feel like their secondary is a little. They got Maxwell Hartston, but I think in that pick, I think you have to take Will Johnson because he's the best player available. I'm not saying Maxwell Hartston.
He's really good though.
Maxwell Hartston, yeah, I know,
but he's a completely different player.
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's a great player.
He's a different position though. He's a slot. He's a nickel corner. He's a slot corner. He doesn't play on the outside. But yeah.
Other than that, can we talk about how Shedeur Sanders fell this far to the fifth round?
That was after the second round, I was thinking who's gonna pick this guy? If the Steelers are really gonna pass this guy 3 times in a row, who's gonna pick this guy? That's why he fell fifth. He's either going first, second, or he's falling. And then he ended up falling to the 5th round to the Browns, who now have 5 quarterbacks on the roster. They got Jameis.
Not Jameis. We got Jameis.
Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur, and Kenny Pickett. And you know what I saw? You know who has the best odds to be the starting quarterback day one? Pickett.
He's minus odds.
Oh,
Pickett is minus odds.
How does Pickett have the best odds?
Over Flacco.
I agree. I think Flacco's...
Why?
Because he's 50.
You don't think Shedeur can win out the job?
No.
Really? No. What I don't get is
if they're smart,
Deshaun's injured.
If they're smart, they wouldn't let a rookie win the job.
What I don't get is if you were gonna take Shedeur in the 5th round that, if he fell that far, you thought that. Why take Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round?
I don't know.
That just doesn't make sense.
Why did they do that?
Why would you take 2 quarterbacks this year, especially in the 3rd and 5th round?
Maybe because they suck at drafting quarterbacks, and and then they're like, we can't miss if we take 2 of the best.
I think the only, what was I going to say? I think the only rookie quarterback that should start day one is Cam Ward. That's the only one. That's the only justified one. I think that if you're starting Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur, you're just asking for them to not be good. We've seen it for the past, 5 years. I mean, the only really exception I would say is Stroud,
Yeah.
Herbert, and Jaden Daniels. But you're looking at some of the best.
The Tua started when
He started, but he was okay.
Yeah.
Like,
But
well, that's also
Look at
like,
Bryce Young. He
Bryce Young was awful.
He basically like first year Bryce Young is the same offense as Cam Ward does right now.
Yeah.
And he might struggle with that because the Titans' offense is atrocious. I don't care
Yeah.
what he said while he was playing Fortnite. Treylon Burks is not a top 300 receiver. And who else did? Calvin Ridley is not.
They got a lot of good receivers in the draft,
but they did draft. They didn't draft. They signed the Xavier Respirator, if I'm saying his name.
Restrepo. Okay,
from Miami,
bro,
who worked with Cam Ward. But you don't know. Sometimes bringing college teammate chemistry over to the NFL, it could work out.
This is the NFL, bro. We're not.
But
it's not a charity.
It could work out. You don't know. But obviously, the Titans' offense isn't the best looking. Like
who's their coach? Callahan.
Brian, I think Callahan. Yeah.
Who? No.
They might struggle. They might be.
That
might be a trade.
The Titans' offensive line isn't like it's a little better than what it was last year. It's okay, but Cam Ward won't have the time he had like in Miami.
Atrocious.
Oh, terrible! It's terrible.
They're gonna be terrible.
But
they're literally. You know what?
The main reason I think the reason why Cam Ward's gonna struggle the most is because he's gonna be so used to having so much time from Miami behind the offensive line that he's gonna get sacked like so many times.
Their wide receiver room is comparable to the Packers, like literally, like
it's the worst.
Instead of having like Taylor 56, you have like mid and then like whatever number you want to put there. They're all mid. They're all
the Packers
mid.
Finally, since first time like 22 years, drafted Matthew Golden in the first round, wide receiver.
That was so cool.
Hype. But I don't know. This draft was interesting, definitely, especially with Shedeur falling. And one thing that I have to say that was a little screwed up by fans was the prank call.
Yeah,
that was a little screwed up by fans.
It wasn't even fans. It was the defensive coordinator's son.
That's insane. The Falcons
for Shedeur, and then a bunch of others were doing it, right?
He did need to be humbled, but I think the way that he was humbled was messed up.
Like the way you get humbled is when if you get playing bad, first game when you just throw 3
But
picks.
This humbled him, falling to the 5th round.
And then
he was a projected first
top
overall.
3 pick. He was projected top 3 pick.
But then when he gets drafted first round.
Yeah. And now, he got humbled, but still the prank calls were still messed up.
Yeah. Carter got it. Warren got it.
A lot of guys got it.
A lot of guys got it.
Well, at least the Jackson Dart didn't get it. That's all I care about a little bit. But it's still interesting draft. I'm excited for the season coming up.
Yeah.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and who do you guys think is going to win the finals? I think there's a clear-cut favorite, and I think this is a no-brainer.
So
obviously,
who?
I want your opinion first, and then I'll say who.
Obviously, my pick to win the NBA finals. I got ahead of myself. Is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They sweep the Grizzlies 4-0 in the first round like it was nothing. They win game 1 by 55 points. And they're playing the winner of the Clippers Nuggets. That's going to be a 5-game series. Then, they're playing probably Minnesota or Golden State in the conference finals. And that's probably, I would say, Minnesota. And then we win in 6. The finals is going to be probably the toughest matchup. But we swept the Celtics in the regular season. Which, regular season doesn't mean a lot. But, we swept them in the regular season. We split with the Cavs. And I think it's going to be OKC Celtics. And I'm taking OKC in 6. That's my pick.
And look, I'm not going to disagree with you. I have OKC winning. I do have OKC winning. I just think they're the team to beat. I just on both sides of the ball, they're the best team in the NBA. And I just think it's inevitable until they win.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I have Golden State winning for absolutely no reason. I just have a gut feeling. That's all I can tell you. That's literally all. Someone's when I'm looking at the bracket, it's just screaming Golden State to me. It's running through my veins like Curry. I don't know why.
I don't
know why.
Look, they're doing really well against the Rockets. The Rockets were the 2 seed, but
zero explanation though. I can't tell you why. I think
not many games they were the 2 seed, right? But they're the youngest they're the second youngest team in the playoffs, aside from Oklahoma City, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But Jalen Green is completely the bed. He scored 30 points one
I
game.
think I could name 2 people on the Rockets. That's it. Actually, three.
Amen.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're just like they lost their identity in the playoffs. They're not a tough team. They're getting outplayed every single game. Golden State's gonna win that series in 5, maybe 6.
I think the winner of the next series wins it all. I think the winner. Well, it's
Minnesota, Golden State.
Odds are it's going to be Timberwolves, Minnesota. Timberwolves, Minnesota. It's going to be Timberwolves, Golden State. I don't know why that. Like the bottom left side of that bracket is just really like speaking to me. I'm a Knicks fan.
I don't
think that we're doing anything.
I don't think that. The thing with the Knicks is that they're struggling against the Pistons, who everyone thinks like they're a far better team. And then they went 1-2 or 1-3 against the Pistons in the regular season. They're not showing what they had last year, in my opinion. They're just like every other game. They're like they have a good game, then they have like a dysfunctional game, and they come back towards the end, but then they can't seal it. But their teams in question. Even if they do beat the Pistons in Game 6 and the Pistons don't force Game 7,
Detroit's actually favored to win Game 6,
and that's what's scary.
Wow.
Yeah, but if they're facing the Celtics. Most likely next round.
It's over.
I don't think they're beating the Celtics.
Shot.
They're 0-10 against.
No shot.
They're 0-10 against the top 3 NBA teams. So I don't think.
Let me give you my input on that. So the similarity between the Knicks and let's say the Lakers, right? So I'm guessing, did you guys have the Lakers beating Minnesota?
Yeah,
I did.
I'm not
gonna
lie. I had the Lakers like destroying Minnesota.
Yeah.
This is what I realized watching that series. This is the difference between teams like the Lakers and the Knicks. Is that they're just have a bunch of players that just go, like a bunch of all-stars that go. But teams like OKC, Celtics, Cavs, they have teams. They have actual teams that have role players that play roles like Chet. He doesn't need to score 20 points, but he did. But he doesn't need to score 20 points a game. All he needs to play defense. The Lakers have LeBron, Luka, and Anthony. Oh my God, Reeves, who are great scorers, but they're just not a good team together. Let's be real here. They're just a bunch of scorers, crybabies, and foul baiters.
But also, I wouldn't be shocked if it's Thunder Celtics. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
And the Knicks, you have Brunson, Cat, McCall, OG, Josh Hart. Like, they need more role players.
And then name one person after that who's like capable.
Yeah.
Deuce McBride, terrible.
Awful though.
terrible.
He completely fell off. I don't know what happened to him. That's pretty disappointing for him.
And who else?
They have nothing.
Literally
Mitchell Robinson is amazing. Was amazing.
Sorry.
Shamet, terrible. And then
Is Cam Payne back? Or
and what happens? Like
Payne is there too, but
this is why I'm surprised the Knicks are even winning the series, to be honest, because the Pistons are a team. The Knicks are just a bunch of players smudged together.
The Knicks in the past 2 years have made 2 trades where they gave up more than 2 players for 1 player. They have no depth.
That's what.
With
OG,
they gave up
no money. It's not like they have money.
I mean, I don't even know if you can consider Precious like a player because Malachi Flynn because they suck.
But it was team for like
it was
2 games.
essentially OG for Barrett and IQ. And that's depth you lost, and then it was Randall, DiVincenzo, and
for Cat. That's it.
For Cat.
And a first round pick. So that was actually a smart trade because the first round pick they traded was really high value because it was Detroit's first round pick.
Yeah.
And now it's not even a lottery pick because they were the 6th seed.
Yeah.
But think about it though, like
Detroit won 14 games last year. Now they're in the playoffs.
Think about it. Leon Rose took this like a Madden franchise. Like he traded away I'm being serious. It's like you're all in on your starters, and then if the Giants offensive line, you're all in on your starters, and if one starter goes down,
it's over.
Evan Neal's playing guard.
This is why Tibbs' system is a little stupid, even though it makes Jalen Brunson look amazing. In the fourth quarter, they have 5 amazing players on the court. What happens?
They get you guys.
One player touches the ball in offense.
Tibbs' system
Jalen Brunson
would be so much better on the Thunder. So much better on the Thunder.
The thing what it is
because think about it. If somebody gets injured, you have a 10-man rotation.
Oh yeah, that system. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we can play a 12-man rotation.
Exactly.
What is with the Knicks is
maybe
Davis in the playoffs.
Maybe like a stretch.
Davis doesn't play his bench. He doesn't play his bench. Like, he gives Payne.
No, the problem is he has to give Cat the ball. He has to give McCall the ball.
He has to
That's
give
the
them-
problem.
give the ball
Brunson
more
is
to
the clutch. Brunson is the clutch player of the year. But at what point are you going to say we have to spread the ball? It's too predictable. It's way too predictable. The Pistons have held a lead in the fourth quarter in every single game so far.
Let me ask you a question.
Every single game.
Every single game.
What are the odds that if the Knicks lose this series,
They blow
Tibbs
it.
gets fired.
Tibbs gets fired?
I think it's a very high possibility.
50%.
I think it's a high
Just
possibility.
because that's really bad. That's really bad when you have that team. Second,
Would they really pull the trigger on
I
that?
don't know because he has such a good relationship with like Brunson and Hart. I think, but we don't know behind the scenes.
It's true. But just think about it. I feel like this is the third year in a row where the Knicks have had a pretty good team. We know last year.
And they do
last year
nothing.
was screwed up by.
We're screwed.
Last year was screwed.
They
by
really
Tibbs.
could have gone all the way.
Tibbs lost them last year because obviously
They
the
got
whole
injured.
team got
The
injured and
injuries.
they kept forcing them to play. And this year, honestly, it sounds the same. Brunson, if this is the regular season, Brunson's not playing. I would bet all the money that I have.
His ankle's
His right ankle's destroyed, and he's averaging 35 and 10.
Yeah. He's literally destroying his ankles.
Playoff Brunson is different.
He's destroying his body. Destroying his body.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't play, we lose.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? Mikal Bridges probably plays 45 minutes a game, and he never sweats. I've never seen him
No,
sweat.
never.
And
Never.
then he-
That man does not drip sweat.
And he hasn't missed a game since high school.
That's
Pretty
crazy.
impressive, I'm not going
It's
to lie.
insane.
That's what I call longevity.
That's
But-
what you call good conditioning, bro.
Maybe that's why we got him. Forget about the Villanova, crap.
He doesn't
Maybe
get
that's why
hurt.
We actually got him.
He doesn't get hurt. And he's
That's what you need
great
for
conditioning.
Tibbs.
That makes
because-
sense.
Get ready because you'll
Yeah.
play literally. If you want to play all 48 minutes, you'll play all 48,
48
minutes.
minutes. I don't know. But the Knicks are in question. I hope they don't blow this series. But like you said, Jalen Brunson is destroying his ankle. And they need to spread the ball around more. And I think that they need to involve the bench a little more too, especially with Payne. I know McBride hasn't been the best, but you need to involve the bench a little bit in the playoffs. Can't make them play, like what Henry said with the playoffs last year. Everyone got hurt because they were playing 48 minutes a game and no bench came in. They got exhausted. That's what
It's the same this year, bro, just with a better starting five.
But
Yeah.
the embarrassing thing is that if the Knicks lose, you know for a fact the Pistons are losing 4-0. You know for a fact. For a fact. Dude,
All
I'm
right.
telling you, it's speaking to me. Speaking to me.
All right, for the team that stepped up
And I
and surprised me
hate
the most.
Celtics.
For the team or players that surprised me the most, it's going to be the Pistons. They have such a gritty team. Like Cade Cunningham, this is his first playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 23 years old. Maybe 22, I don't know.
I'm curious now.
22 or 23 years old. He was drafted a couple of years ago, and he's averaging like 25 and 10. And he's been clutch. He's done everything the Pistons asked him to do and more, leading his team. Also, you know who's really surprised me watching these games? Tobias Harris.
He actually has been
He's
playing
been
well.
guarding Cat the entire series, not Duran. It's been Tobias Harris. And Cat's had some really good games, and he's stepped up too, even though because he didn't have a good series last year in the playoffs, in the conference finals when the Wolves made it. But Tobias Harris has stepped up. He's been the second leading scorer in the Pistons, and he's playing amazing physical defense on Cat, and he's just been a leader for them. So is Malik Beasley. So is Jalen Duran, Asar Thompson. This team has such a defensive physical identity to them, and they want to win really bad. And the home court effect of the Knicks did not affect them at all.
Look, you definitely know more basketball than I do for a fact, but based off what I've seen on social media, it just seems like the team that's definitely been let down, that's letting everyone down the most. It's got to be the Knicks. It's got to be. Everyone's so surprised at the fact that they're, could be losing, and honestly probably should be. They probably should be losing.
And they
Probably should be. They shouldn't have won the game when they won, what,
Game 4.
94?
Game four.
94,
Game 4.
93? Is that-
Yeah, game 4.
They shouldn't have won that game. They shouldn't have won
that
that
was
game.
a miracle. And
Yeah.
then
Think about that. They lose that game, they're down 3-2.
Yeah.
Probably lose the series.
and going into Detroit.
Yeah.
But another team that let me down big time is definitely the Houston Rockets. I expected them to go maybe 6 or 7. They might lose to a Golden State Warriors in 5 with literally it's Curry, Jimmy, and nobody else. Who's their third best player? Buddy Hield. Jonathan Kuminga doesn't even play.
Well, when you have Curry, that's all you need.
Curry, yeah, and Jimmy.
He's
But
just unbelievable.
the Rockets' offense is just atrocious. Jalen Green atrocious. Şengün has been their best player, and it's been terrible. They've been terrible. Their defense, non-existent. And, Ahmed Thompson is trying his best, but he can't guard Curry. He can't. And, Ime Udoka is trying to coach his team, but it's not working. They're down 3-1. Golden State's probably going to win Game 5, my prediction. And I think it's going to be Golden State, Minnesota. And I'm going to take Minnesota.
It's fair, but what I will say is that, I've been looking at I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but, obviously I follow it and I look at the scores. And I'm pretty impressed with the defense. It's been a lot of low-scoring games. Low-scoring games.
The Knicks games, especially, it's so.
But you don't see this effort in the regular season. That's why I think That's why I think that
playoffs are so much different.
That's why I think the views are going down because no one wants to watch. It's like you're watching Week 18 every single day. No one cared to no one's playing, no one's trying. All of a sudden they try for the playoffs. Because, it doesn't really take that much to make the playoffs. If you go barely over 500, you're in the play-in. You have to try
not in the East, not in the West.
Well, honestly, I was talking about the East, but I don't know about the West.
In the East,
you literally needed to be 5 games under 500, and you're in the play-in.
That's insane.
That's what, I don't know. I personally think that's ridiculous.
I think it's kind of a tragedy that the Heat made the playoffs.
That was was that really needed?
4-0.
Really needed?
If you really think about it, OKC and Caps had a bye.
What was the differential in that series?
Pretty much.
It's the highest ever in a playoff series.
In 4 games. In 4 games.
I mean, that team was just atrocious. Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo. Wow, it's so bad.
Awful team to make it.
Well, actually, that argument in 4 games actually makes no sense. It actually helps them. That's pretty stupid. But,
But do you guys think the Knicks even have a shot in making the finals?
No shot.
No, I don't think so. I really don't think so.
No shot.
I really don't think so.
Zero shot.
Like I stated earlier, they're 0-10 against the top 3 teams, the Cavs, Celtics, and OKC. I really don't think that they have a chance.
Because in my opinion, the Pacers have no chance. There's no chance against Cleveland. No chance. No. And I don't even think the Knicks have a chance against Celtics. Even if they beat the Celtics, they gotta go through the Cavs. They're bound to lose one of those series. 100%.
Yeah, that's a gauntlet.
That's like a giant schedule. It's a gauntlet.
Heading on over to another playoffs that have just started. The NHL playoffs have gone underway, obviously without neither the Rangers or the Islanders. So honestly, it's stress-free for us. And, well...
I don't really personally care. Obviously, neither of my team... Neither of our teams are in it. My team's not in it. But... I mean, I'm an Islanders fan, but I do like the Florida Panthers, and I actually forget about liking them. I think they're going to win it all.
You think they're going
back to back? They are just so good. They are so good. Kachuk, Marchand, Ekblad. I mean, they are just a really, really good team, and got Seth Jones too. I mean, they are just. I mean, they won it last year. Bobrovsky and net. I mean, they're just. They're good.
They're a good team.
They're good. And they're making the Lightning look stupid, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they are.
And then, honestly, their next series is Toronto. Ooh.
Well, Toronto has lost 2 games. Do we think Toronto's going to blow this?
Dude, Toronto.
They're down. They were up 3-0. They were up 3-0. It's 3-2
Let me tell you Toronto. Toronto, I think... Toronto is on I think... of making the finals, I think they're 0 and their last 50. They're like the
Bills.
But 5 times worse. They just cannot win in the playoffs.
Wow.
They cannot win in the playoffs. And they're good every single year. They cannot win in the playoffs. I have Florida.
What do you have?
See, I'm debating between 2 teams that are on the western side. I'm debating between the Avalanche.
I was going to say, it's not the Florida Panthers, it's the Avalanche.
It's the Avalanche, but they are down 3-2 in the series of Dallas.
I still like the Avs, though.
But I do want to say the Avs, but I do like the Knights, too. The Knights do have a nice team. I think I might have to go with the Golden Knights right now. I think I have the Golden Knights winning. I just think that the Avs being down is against a good team like Dallas. It's really hard to come back and win 2 games in a row, especially with Dallas having the home ice advantage. But I'm going to go with Vegas I'm going to go with Vegas winning, and I think they're going to be facing the Panthers.
And for anyone surprised that we haven't mentioned the Jets, not only are they tied 2-2 with the Red Hot Blues, I think they lose next round anyway to the Stars of the Avalanche. 100%.
I just think because it's also the President's Trophy curse.
It's just a curse, yeah.
And I just don't think it's not always the fair cut favorite, but I do like this Vegas Golden Knights team. I watched them a couple times.
Watch out for Edmonton now.
They were down 2-0. Now it's 2-2.
Watch out for Edmonton. No, it's 3-2.
It's 3-2. Oh, right. It's 3-2. It's 3-2. Yeah, they were down 2-0 and they won 3 straight.
Watch out for Edmonton.
I think I got Vegas Golden Knights.
And also, I just want to reiterate as well, the Capitals, get ready. You ain't doing shit. No, they're not doing anything. I don't care. OV this, OV that.
If they close out the series tonight, they're playing the Hurricanes. Do you think the
Hurricanes? I swear to God, they become Jesus in the playoffs. They become incredible.
Not against the Rangers. Not against the Rangers. They do. The Rangers own them in the playoffs, and I'm going to stand by that. They do. Okay. The Rangers own them in the playoffs, and that's known.
They are incredible in the playoffs, and I mean. I have the Hurricanes beating. I think it's Hurricanes, Florida.
Rematch from 2022-23, I think.
Hurricanes, Florida, Avs, Oilers. That's what I have.
All right.
And then I have Avs, Florida winning it all back to back.
All right, that's our picks.
That's my picks.
I got Florida versus. Honestly, I hate to say it. I'm gonna say the Capitals. Florida versus the Capitals. Florida making it, and then I think. I want to say Vegas versus the Avs. That's what I'm going to say. Vegas versus the Avs.